So I was watching Extreme Cheapskates the other night, and if you don't know about that, these are people who are doing extremely frugal things or extreme things to save money. And that got me thinking, like, how far would I be willing to go in terms of my frugality to save money? So of course I was on the hunt and I researched to try and find some extreme frugal living tips to see whether or not I currently already do them or something that I could potentially start doing, because as you know, I love to make money saving fun. So I came across this article by Penny's Fireplace. I will link it in the description box below, and she's got 11 extreme frugal living tips that can boost your savings really fast. So of course I want to see how many of these can I do, or maybe I'm already doing. So without further ado, let's just get this video started. Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, hi, my name's Yvonne. I like to make videos every week, mainly talking about how to save money, make money, and grow your money, as I'm on a personal journey to financial freedom, and I'm sharing all the tips, tricks, and hacks that are helping me along the way, in the hopes that they can help you too. So if you are interested in that type of content, then please make sure to hit that like button, consider joining our community. It's absolutely free by subscribing and sharing this video with someone who wants to make a positive impact on their finances. So the first one she says is eating offal, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please let me know in the comments below if I'm not. But offal is the internal organs and intestines of animals used as food. Now the reason you might want to do this is because it's a lot cheaper to buy offal than to buy other cuts of meat. So you can save money by opting to eat things like liver, kidney, heart, tripe, brains, tongue. And apparently in the 1970s, with sky high inflation and mortgage interest rates, many families resorted to eating offal. So I personally know that this can reduce your grocery bill by a lot if you choose to use these cuts of meat. So I kind of got into kidney and liver a little bit later on in life. I think it was in my mid to late 20s when I found out that they're actually a really good source of iron. So I kind of eat them. I don't eat them as regularly as I should, but maybe this is something I need to include in my grocery budget. But let me know in the comments below, do you have any offal in your diet, and are there any recipes that you would share? The second one is to go for roadkill that you may come across on your travels. So apparently in the UK, it's widely accepted that if you accidentally run over an animal, you cannot pick it up as roadkill. However, the person behind you can. Now I know that on my journeys, I have seen a fair share of foxes, squirrels, and a couple more animals lying on the road. Now personally, I don't think I can go for roadkill just because of, you know, it's roadkill and bacteria. Don't know how long it's been there for, so I don't think this one is for me. So, but I know there are a lot of people who actually do pick up roadkill. They prep the animal, they make good food of it, and I'm sure it's a life skill that is really handy should we get to like survival mode in the world. But for now, it's just not for me. I'm so sorry. I don't think I can do that so far. I think I'm on like 1 out of 2. Anyway, let's carry on. The next one is moldy food, which means that if you just have a little bit of mold on your food and it's not completely all over your food, then you could just cut off the bits that are moldy and then use the bits that are not moldy. Now I know that a lot of people do this either with like cheese or with bread, that if you just see spots of mold on your bread, that you just cut off the bits with the mold on them and you just continue eating them. And basically it's all about making sure you use your nose to really tell you when something has truly gone off. Personally for me, I can't do this again. So maybe I'm not really ready for the extreme frugal lifestyle, but I just think that I can't do it. As soon as I see mold, I just think, no, it needs to go where it should go, which is in the bin. So I personally don't think I can do this, but this is an extremely frugal tip that actually can save you money because you won't be wasting food. You will just be utilizing the food until you run out of it. So what I like about this particular extreme frugal living tip is that Emma points out that her mother's response to the disgust that most people have is that people pay a premium for things like Stilton cheese, which is exactly the same thing, mold on cheese, but people will pay a premium for that. So maybe it is around redefining our thoughts on mold, but I don't think I can. But let me know in the comments below if you do this practice and how it works for you. So the next one is she calls the no poo movement, which is basically a movement of people who no longer use shampoo or chemicals in their hair, but they'll basically create their own hair care products and their own hair shampoos and conditioners and just use use natural products to do so. So I particularly really like this, and it's something that I've started doing. So I no longer buy hair oils for my hair. I make my own hair oils. I want to reduce the amount of shampoos that I'm buying, and I kind of want to learn how to make my own shampoo using natural ingredients. This is definitely an extreme frugal tip that I've started the journey towards. I just kind of need to find the best recipe to make shampoo. And the reason why I've chosen to go down this route is because every time I look at the ingredients list, half of it is, well, more than half of it is stuff that I just don't recognize, and it takes me ages to find the right shampoo that will dry out my hair, that, you know, will clean my hair properly. But I think it's something that I want to move towards actually making my own and seeing what difference that makes. So the next one is to stop shaving for both men and women. So I think I can't speak for men in this aspect, but I do know that, you know, beards are really trendy these days, right? But for women, I think as society, we've kind of been branded that you have to be like silky smooth, no hair. But you can save a lot of money, for example, in terms of like beauty treatments. But she offers this solution as not shaving, waxing, or hair removal for women. And you can save some money in terms of personal care in this aspect. Now, this is every woman to themselves. Luckily, I was one of those women who basically doesn't have any hair whatsoever, so it works out well for that, and I won't go into any more detail because that will be TMI. Move on to the next one. Cut your own hair. Again, this is mainly around making sure you do your own hair, because the costs of hair care can be expensive, especially if you're going to the salon quite regularly. Now, I do point this out in my videos quite a lot, that I do my own hair. Now, I didn't know that this was an extreme frugal tip, so I really feel frugal right now, because not only do I look after my own hair, but I cut my son's hair now by myself. So I feel like I'm winning. I feel like I've got what, 2 out of 6 so far. 3 out of 6 maybe out so far. I will put the score at the end. Also, please let me know in the comments below what your score is at the end of it. Then the next one is collect and reuse grey water. Now, this is a typical way to save money on your water bill. It's all about reusing the water that you are using. So for example, if you're having a bath, save that water and use it to flush your toilet. She also talks about using the water from your washing machine to water your plants, or water from your bath to water your plants. And it just makes sense to reuse grey water as much as possible. So personally, I really like the idea of this actually, because this is grey water, especially when it comes to like flushing your toilet. It makes sense that if you're using bath water or your shower water and you collect that water and you use it to not only flush your toilets, but maybe use it around the house, it makes absolute sense, because that water otherwise would just be going down the drain. It doesn't make a difference to me because I just pay a standard tariff for water. So if I use a lot of water or if I use a little bit of water, I pay the same price. So maybe it isn't about in terms of cost, but maybe in terms of like the impact on the environment, maybe I could consider that. But this is something that I probably need to do a little bit more of. Never done it before, but let me know in the comments below if you do this. But I do remember there was an episode of Extreme Cheapskates that I watched that I thought was extreme, in the sense that he would bath with his clothes on so that he could wash his clothes at the same time that he was having his shower, and then he would use that water to flush the toilet. But he only allowed himself and his housemates to flush the toilet once a week, which I absolutely thought was just not something that I possibly could do. But let me know in the comments below if you would go to those lengths to save on your water bill. The next one is to be sparing with your heating. So she talks about being more conscious about your energy use, which is actually generally just a good frugal habit to have. I personally have made such a huge effort in my home to be conscious of how much energy we're using, and just doing things that are helping me when it comes to like cutting down on my energy bills. But at the same time, she talks about not having the heater on at all, wearing your day clothes in bed to keep warm, wearing hats and gloves while watching TV, only having one light bulb on in the house at a time, and then having cold showers instead of hot. So in terms of those, I don't like the cold weather, so I don't think I can not have the heating on until it gets absolutely freezing. So I think in this point she's mentioning that you have to wait till like your pipes are almost about to freeze, then you kind of have to put your heating on just to avoid that. I couldn't do that. Wearing your day clothes in bed to keep warm, I think that's good practice anyway. So if you've got hoodies and stuff like that, wear those to bed instead of going to bed in a t-shirt. Layer up when you go to bed, that makes sense. Wearing hats and gloves whilst staying in the house watching TV, I don't know. I've never done that, and I don't think it's something that I want to do either. Having one light bulb in the house at one time, I just think that's more of an inconvenience. Like constantly having to take the light bulb out, switch it around. I know in one extreme cheapskate, that's what she does, and she saves money like that. But maybe instead of one, maybe two, because I feel like you should be able to like have the rooms that you use the most should be the ones that have a light bulb. That's a good compromise, right? And then I can't have cold showers, so that's already a no. That's definitely a no. The next one is to use other people's leftovers. Using your own leftovers is good practice to reduce food wastage and lower your grocery bill, which I absolutely agree. But she talks about using leftovers from work meetings, events, parties that you may be attending. And especially now that the world has opened up and we're allowed to go indoors, then if you're ever at a meeting, just packing some stuff and then taking it home and using that as leftovers. I've never done that. I think I'd be too embarrassed. I'm one of those people who gets really embarrassed really quickly, and I get secondhand embarrassment as well. So somebody else is doing it, I'd be like, oh, what are you doing? So I've never thought of doing that, and I don't know if I will either. And then she mentions doing dumpster diving, and this is around going into dumpsters or bins, if you're in the UK, going through bins, picking up things that people have thrown away. Now, I know a lot of people do this in terms of food. I don't know the legalities of it, because I feel like in the back of my head there's a legality issue here where you are actually not allowed to do that, but I don't know how much of it is just in my head and an excuse not to do it. Thought about it, but I've never done it before. And I've watched a lot of dumpster diving videos, and it's amazing the things that people find, especially when it comes to like homeware and food as well. It's just a shame because we waste so much food. So it makes sense that actually instead of wasting it, people just go and get it. But I've never done it. I don't think it's something that I'm prepared to do. Maybe I should do a video attempting to do some dumpster diving. I'm pretty sure that would be a funny video. And then the next thing she talks about is super cheap meals. So having extremely frugal meals where you can involve meat, which we've talked about, the offal stuff, but also pantry staples that you could stockpile at a low price. And that's around having a very frugal budget and sticking to it. So she mentions having £50 a month on groceries for 2 people, which is a really, really good habit to have. So I feel like I've brought my budget down to the lowest I possibly can. Probably not, I could probably do better. So I spend just over £100 a month for 2 people, and I think that's pretty good. But obviously I could try and cut it down a little bit more, and I am considering how I could do that. I might just give it a go. I'm just conscious of the fact that I've got a little one, so I need to make sure that he's getting his nutrients and he still has nutritious meals, but I'm pretty sure you probably could do it for that amount as well. Let me know in the comments below, what is the lowest grocery budget you could ever have? Also, let me know, what score did you get in terms of extreme frugality? How many did you get out of 11? And if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button, to subscribe, and of course share this video with someone who wants to make a positive impact on their finances. Don't forget, if you do want a free stock and share, please make sure to use those links down below. Deposit some money into your account and you get a free share. Also, don't forget to check out these videos, which will show you all the financial tips I'm currently implementing in my life that have saved me thousands and thousands of pounds. Thank you so much for all your support, and I will see you in the comments below, and of course I will see you in the next video. Do take care. Bye.